Hello, welcome back to my channel. I'm sorry I don't post very much. It's just I have a job and I just went on vacation and I just came back and yeah, so I do have a mini makeup haul, not as big as the last one, but still kind of big. So I thought I would just show you the stuff that's came in the month, late February, early March. Sorry, I'm sniffling. My allergies are just acting up right now. Bleh, cat. Sorry. I'm slightly allergic to cats and I have 3 of them. Kind of a mistake. Okay, so let's get started. I'm going to start with our face products and then move on to eye products. I don't have any lip products this time around, but I do have some face products, so let's get going. Let's start with the blushes I got this month. So I got 2 of the Cover FX blush duos from Ulta, just because I've been really wanting to try these. This one's Soft Peach. This one came broken, but I kind of don't really care. I can still keep it the way it is. This is Soft Peach. It's actually the blush I'm wearing today. I'm wearing the glowy side today. I really like these. These are really nice. I really like the glowy side especially. And then I also got Warm Honey. Sorry, I can't talk. I also got Warm Honey. If I can open it. Can I open you? Okay, got it. This is Warm Honey. I really like this one. I think I like this one a little bit more than Soft Peach, which is good because it's not the broken one. I really like the glowy side and the matte side. I mostly just use the glowy side because I'm a glowy bitch. So, yeah. These are the blushes I got, and I love them. Now let's move on to highlighter. I got 3 highlighters this month, which is kind of big for me. I normally kind of more of a blush person. This is the Persona highlighter in Zuma. It's actually the one I'm wearing today. I've been really wanting to try Persona's highlighter formula because I've heard a lot of good things about it, so I just picked it up on a whim. And then I got 2 Kaleidos highlighters this month to join my collection of Kaleidos highlighters, which is now 5. And so this one is Diamond Dasher, which is kind of like a peachy color. I'll swatch it for you because it's hard to tell in the pan, but it's like a peachy pinky color. It's really pretty. And then I got Moon Cruiser, which is their purple highlighter, which I really like. It has a kind of a blue shift to it, but I kind of think it's cool because it's purple. It's like a UV glow type highlighter. Yeah, so that's all the face products. Again, not that much. And then I have 6 eyeshadow palettes. I know I got 10 last month and now I have 6. It just happens that way. 3 of them are tiny, so it doesn't really matter. I bet you already know what they are. Kaleidos. So let's start off with Kaleidos. I'm gonna go in order from like the type of palette they are. So I kind of just bought this one just because they have this bundle thing on their site where you can get 3 palettes for $60, and then it would just be $10 to add a 3rd palette. I mean, I didn't really like vibe with this color story, but since it wasn't that much money, I thought, hey, why don't I just pick it up? And I actually really like these mustardy colors down here. I mean, I have things similar, but I really like Kaleidos' matte formula, especially. Like, their mattes are really good, and I really like their formula. They're probably one of my favorite formulas. But yeah, now I have 6 of their little palettes. Probably my favorite one. Not my favorite one. I'm going in order. I forgot. The favorite one's gonna be best for last. So the next one is the Lunar Lavender, which is one I really wanted because I like purples. The duochromes in here are super pretty. I really like this. It's really pretty. There it is. And if you're wondering, I am not getting the Club Nebula palette. Talking is hard. I am not getting the Club Nebula palette because I don't like deep dark tones that much. I am a person that personally prefers lighter tones. I don't like really deep dark colors. I don't use black that much. The deepest I'll go is a chocolate brown. And I just found that most of the palette was deep, so I'm not gonna get a palette that's mostly deep and I won't use very much. Now the one I really, really wanted, like a lot, and this is actually the palette I took with me on vacation, or at least one of them. This is Sashimi City. This is like a really good capsule neutral palette for me because I really like fun shimmers and then like neutral mattes, and I'm gonna swatch these shimmers because they're just special compared to all the other 3 palettes. This is Penthouse, and then I forget, Fire Crystal, I think. But Penthouse is just something else. Like, it kind of has a multi-chrome going on. There's some yellow, there's some green, there's some champagne. And then this one is pink to gold. Maybe I can get the gold shift. There's the gold shift, and then pink. So it's just really interesting. I think it's interesting anyway. And then the next brand that I tried out this month is Glamlite. I've been wanting to check out Glamlite for a while, actually. So I picked up these two. And I really like them. I like the ice cream one more than I like the cake, which I'm going to show the cake first. I think cake is a good capsule rainbow palette. I really like the mattes. I like the mattes more than the shimmers in this one. I really don't like this blueberry shade. It's really bad. It's really dry, and when you put it on the lids, it's really hard to blend. Like, I tried to do like a purple look, and I put this all over the lid, and it just wouldn't blend in with the mattes that I put on my lid, so I just don't like that blueberry shade. Don't recommend using it. I really like the shade Cinnamon. Cinnamon's really good. Carrot's good. Guava's good. I haven't tried the other ones yet, and I've tried all the mattes. The mattes are great. I really like the matte formula in here. So the colorful mattes in here are great. I like the packaging, even though it's bulky. I just think it's fun. But yeah, I definitely prefer this guy. I think it's actually, everyone says this is a huge palette. It's really not. Like, let me just pull out another big palette I have real quick. This is my Carnival 3, and like, it's half the size. Like, it's not as big as people say, you know. I can fit it in my makeup bag, so it works. This is the Beautiful palette. This is my pastel palette that I have, the only one I have, and that's one of the reasons why I picked it up. I mostly wanted this palette, but to get free shipping I got the cake palette. So this is this palette. The shimmers are great, the mattes are great. Yes, people would just rather have this palette, but honestly, I like how this color story, like, I like the full color story, because I find that this palette, it would be really good to travel with in the summer, because you have neutrals and you have pastels and you have colorful shades. So like, it would be a good palette just to take with you, because it has a little bit of everything, which I appreciate. And the shimmers in here are great, and the mattes are great. I mean, I have had less issues with this guy than I have had with the cake palette. But yeah, it's a good palette, and I think their mattes outshine their shimmers to me. I know everyone's like, but they're shimmers, oh my god. But they do crease on my eyes after like 5 or 6 hours. So, yes. And so then I got an inexpensive palette, because I've been wanting to try Natasha Denona for a really long time. Like, I know, like, once she started coming out with the midi-sized palettes, I'm like, I need to try Natasha Denona. But the Sunrise didn't really vibe with me. It was deep colors and just not my color story. The Love palette, Glam, I'm not as much as a cool tone person as I am a warm tone person, so I picked up Bronze. And I have some mixed feelings, and I'm going to tell you guys about them. So this is Bronze. I really like the shimmer formula in here. It's really good. I hate the cream to powder formula. This shade, Deep Dive, does not blend. I put this on yesterday. I was going to wear this yesterday, and I tried to put this a little bit on my outer corner. I barely dipped my brush in, and I put it on my outer corner, and it just made a giant black spot on my outer corner, and it wouldn't blend. So I was just very confused why it was not blending, and I don't know why it wasn't blending, but I just I wiped it off. I had to redo my makeup. I reused this palette, and I just used the normal mattes, like these two, like Magma and Suntan. These two are pretty deep, and they work well on my skin, and those blended great, and the shimmers blended great, but the cream to powder formula is terrible in this palette. Doesn't say that in her other palettes it could be good. I've not vibed well with cream to powder formulas. I decluttered my Artemis palette from Alter Ego, which was a dupe for the Metropolis palette. I did not like the cream to powder formula in that palette just because it was very sheer. In this palette, it is very pigmented. It just doesn't blend. And I need something that can blend, and this does not. But besides that, the shimmers are great. I really like them. I kind of was expecting them to be a little bit more creamy. I wasn't expecting them to be more of a drier texture. I was expecting them to be more wet than they are. I think the standout shimmers here are Silk and True Bronze. They're the most like metallic ones in the palette. Here, I'll swatch them. The other ones are kind of more lackluster. And yeah. And I was kind of expecting more from the shade Bliss right here, which is like the pinky gold duochrome. It's not as gold as it is pink, and I kind of wish it was more. So those are the two shades. Wish it was more pink to gold, kind of like the Sashimi City palette, but it wasn't. So if I were to score this palette out of 10 points, I would give it a 6 out of 10. 1, the price. The price is very expensive. 2, the cream to powder formula doesn't do very well to me. And most of the shimmers are pretty lackluster, and I was expecting more from them. I'm going to still keep this in my collection, and I'm going to still keep testing it out, but for right now, it is not on the top of my list for a neutral palette. If you guys want like a palette recommendation video, like on neutrals and colorful palettes or grungy palettes, I would be willing to do that. But this is just not as good as some other neutral palettes I have. I would pick Sashimi City over this one. Even though it's smaller, I just find that the shimmers and the mattes blend really well in this palette, and everything is great in this palette. There's not a lot of cons with this one, and I feel like this is better. I would pick the bronze over this one, the Cyber Bronze from Kaleidos, just because, here, I'm going to explain a little bit about why I was iffy on this color story. So they give you a bunch of grungy browns, which I love grungy browns. But then they give you a rose gold. I was kind of more expecting like a coppery shade or bronze shade, kind of similar to the Natasha Denona one. I don't understand why they put her shimmery red in this palette, because it doesn't go with the mattes. None of the shimmers in this palette go with the mattes. So it doesn't really make a lot of sense to me. I might take it apart, but I don't know yet. I'm just kind of still messing with it. I'll let you guys know how it works out in the future. But out of all the palettes I've received, I say that these two are the best. Sashimi City, get it, it's great. And the Ice Cream Dream palette. All the other ones are meh. I mean, if you want to pick up the Lunar Lavender, I do think it's great. I think everything in this palette's great. It's just not something that I will use on a daily basis, because purples, I don't have a lot of purple clothing, and I like matching my eyeshadow with my clothes. So yeah, I just got this palette because I thought it was pretty, and it was my second choice to Sashimi City. So yeah, those are my opinions for what I've received in the last couple months. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope my ideas of makeup influence what you purchase in the future. Bye!